Good evening, everybody. How is your weekend going? So, yes, functions, basic functions in Excel. The functions we did yesterday. Please, can you hear me before I continue? Can you hear me and can you see my screen? Okay. Okay, thank you. Okay, so yesterday, basic functions in Excel. The functions we did yesterday are functions that you should watch the video, you learn a lot. They are functions that is a must to know them. They are basic functions, the easiest functions that you should know how to um, use into a more advanced function. But before we go there, I would like to touch on if function again. I'm going to do that again. I did that yesterday, but I'm going to the nested if function, and then it counts ifs. Today we are going to do all about ifs, but this is going to be sum if, average ifs, count ifs, nested ifs function. So yesterday I said if function is a condition value if it is true and another value if it is false. So it returns a value if it is true. It's like a conditional statement. If A is equal to 80, return this. Otherwise, return that. So if your condition is true, it will return the truth, and if it's not, then you tell it what to return. You understand? So that's the if statement, the conditional statement. I'm going to do an example. I did that yesterday, but I'm going to do it today. Where did I? Yeah, this is where I did the example. I'm going to delete this. So let's say, for example, this is a score in a school, and you want to write the ones that have passed and the ones that have failed amongst the students. Let's say you say any score that is above 80 or equal to 80 has passed the course, and anybody that scored below 80 has failed the course. So you use the if statement, which is a conditional statement. You say equal to, if you're writing any function or formula, always start with your equal to. So when you say equal to and type if, you see the if statement here. So you just double click on it. Okay. Your logical test now is your conditional statement. You say if we're going to start with this first one, as usual, this 80. If this cell, which is D3, once you click on it, you see D3 there. If D3 next one, value if true. So if D3 is greater or equal to 80, comma, what answers should it give you? I want it to say the student has passed. I want to write pass. So I'm going to put that pass, that value, in two quotes. Okay? I'm going to put it in between two quotes. So I want it to say pass. So whatever value that is bringing for you, you have to put it in quotes. Comma. So once you type comma, it moves the bold to the next one. Value if false. If it's false, then I want it in quotes to write fail, meaning the student has failed. So I'm going to close my brackets and then say enter. So now this student got 80 and is saying pass. So if I scroll down, it will it will apply the same if function for the other cells. You can see now this student got 50 and is failed, 30 fail, 60 fail, 90 pass. So that's what the if statement does. So yesterday I was saying that, okay, what if for this one now we only have two true or false? We only have pass and fail. What if you have you want to assign scores to students like A, B, or C, down to F. How are you going to do that? So then you now use something called nested if. The nested if, like the name implies, is like nesting multiple ifs inside one function, one formula. So instead of just stopping at if and closing your brackets, from this place where you write if D3 is greater or equal to 80, comma, you put it in quotes, you write capital A, comma, instead of writing fail or whatever value there, you want to continue writing because you have to write from B to C to D. So you are going to nest another if inside it. So we're going to do that now using the nested if. So I already have a file here that we used yesterday when I was teaching the concatenate functions and all that. So this file, I'm going to use it now for what I'm talking about, the nested if statement. So here we have nested if. So this is how it's written. If logical test, comma, you write true, comma, you write another if statement again. So you are going to be writing if statement inside another if statement until you get to the end, until you get to the end of what you want. So you're going to be nesting ifs inside that, inside the first if statement. So if you are using advanced Microsoft Excel 2021 maybe, or Excel 365, then you will have this value called ifs, the ifs value. So it does the same thing that the nested if does. But I'll advise that you, once you know how to use this nested if, you would know how to use this ifs. It's very simple. It's the same thing. It's basically the same thing. It's basically the same thing. So you can use the ifs, the if statement, if you have a higher Excel, if you are using a higher Excel. But if you are using a lower one like me, 2016, you can use the nest. I'm going to teach you how to use the nested if. But once you know how to use this nested if, you know how to use this as well. So let's go into that nested ifs. So we're going to fill up this grade. We're going to fill this up, and then we'll be left with this. This will be your assignment. You are going to do it yourselves, this last writing score. Because the truth is, if you don't practice, you will not know this thing. And sometimes you feel like, oh, I understand. When you now go alone to practice on your own, you realize that you are making mistakes. So that's the thing with practicing. Me, I believe that practice makes perfect. You have to practice and practice and practice, and before you know it, you'll be doing it without even watching any video. So that's the trick to learning. If you want to learn anything, you have to practice. You have to do it by yourself. Sometimes they'll teach you something and you feel like I understand it, but when you go back to do it on your own, you start making mistakes. So the trick is practicing. So let's go straight into it. So the grade for the math score, I want to say, okay, these students, so some of them got A, B, C, D, down to E. I want to grade them. So I'm going to use the if statement instead of me to be writing it manually. So I'll say equal to, first, you must start with the first student, which is the one at the top, so that when you just highlight it down, the formula will apply to the others. So we will say equal to if, double click. Our logical statement is 72. Is this cell? Not 72, but the cell where 72 is the cell name. So the cell is C2. Okay. If we want to say, okay, those that are greater than 80, that's called 80 and above, or let's just say 70 and above. Let's not be too strict. So if C2 is greater or equal to 70, comma, then we want this to be A. This student got A. So we're going to put it in quotes. Put the A in quotes. Then you say, comma. Then you want others to be B. So when you are doing this if nested if, there's a trick to it. You have to be careful so you don't make mistakes, except you have perfected it very well. So I'm going to teach you like somebody who is just learning so that you don't make mistakes. So now when you press A, 72 is greater than 70, and that's why it's showing A. So if I double click on that, it gives me for A and B, because my formula is only for A and B. Now there are students here that got C. Then If I want to impute the C, that's when I'll now use the nested if. So what you do is that you just put your cursor here after the comma for A. You can see my formula bar here. Just put your cursor after the comma for A, like you are continuing, you are not ending at B. So instead of ending it there at B, you now continue and put another if statement inside it. So you say if, in brackets again, opening another bracket. We're selecting C2 again. Always use the first one so that when you just highlight, it will affect others. So if C2 is greater or equal to, this time around, we want to say 60, comma, then our answer should be B, which is the B is already here now. So you just complete it and say comma, otherwise you put C there. So now you are done with this second if statement. But you can see that this bracket here now, this first bracket, these two brackets are red in color, meaning that this bracket is closing this first bracket. What about this black one? You have to close it too. So don't forget, you are going to do a double bracket, because you have to close the first bracket as well for the formula to work. So once you do that, it has the formula has applied to this one. So you just double click here so that it will apply to others. So now you now see that you have C here, you have C, you are now seeing the C's there based on your formula. Again, there are students that got D, E, F. So you want to do it down to F. So again, the reason why I'm doing it one by one like this, because I want you guys to understand. But if once you've perfected this, you don't need to, you can finish it straight away and before you end it. You understand? But I'm doing it slowly for you guys. Once we get to the reading score, the grade for the reading score, I'm going to do it straight. I'm not going to do it one by one. So I'm going to do it one by one for now so that we'll get it. For those that are just learning, it's better to do it one by one so you don't make any mistakes. So as I'm doing it like this, you write C, you close, then you apply. Then you come back again. After B, you put another if. You do it down to D, then you apply. Again, that's how to do it if you are just learning, so you don't make mistakes. So we're going to impute another if statement inside this now. So after this B, we'll now impute another statement, if statement. If, again, we're starting with 72, C2, okay, is greater or equal to, this time around, we want to say 50, comma. So we want it to be C. So any student that got between 60 to 50, the student got C. So after this C, you now say comma, or else they should get D. And then you close that. Now you can see now there are two brackets here. This purple bracket is closing this red bracket is closing this. Now you have to close for the dark one, which is the first bracket. Then press enter. So the formula has applied to this A. For it to apply to others, you just double click, and then you see now that D is there. You can see D is there. D has been applied. So whatever you are doing, it must not be, this is just an example, I'm using students' grade. Whatever you're doing at work that requires you to use the if statement, just try it out. That's what I do when I'm learning. Just try what you've learned. Just try it out. There's no harm. Nothing will happen. Try it out just to be sure that you understand what you are learning. So it's very important to practice and try it out. Give yourself things to do and just, then you find out it's very interesting. So let's go back to always make sure your cursor is on A when you want to apply the formula, when you want to insert a new if statement. We're always starting with the first one so that when we apply, it affects the rest. So again, put it on this A, then go to, after the comma, after C, now we want to do for if, another if statement for D. If in brackets, C2, which is where 72 is greater or equal to, this time around we want to say 40, comma, then we want that student to get the D grade. Otherwise, the other student should get E. Okay. So from here, you can now close your bracket again. You can see the brackets are changing colors. So you know which bracket is closing. So make sure you always close your brackets. Close it and say enter. Now the formula has applied to this A. All you have to do is double click on it and then you see it has applied. You can see this student now got E. This student got less than 40 and got E. So that's how you can see this student now got E. But what if I want some students to get F, because this one got 18, obviously, which is fail. So I'm going to now do the final one. Again, the same thing. After the comma after D, you write your if, put it in brackets. If C2 is greater or equal to, this time around we want to say 30, comma, we want it to show us E, okay? Otherwise, we want the student to get F. Always put it in quotes, your values. So finally, we close the last bracket, we press enter, and then we put it here and double click, so it applies to others. So here, you can see F here, student got F. So you can see all of this grading. See how we graded without doing one by one thing. No need to do any one by one. We're not going and writing. You know, some people now might not know this, so they'll be imputing it one after the other, imputing it one after the other. It's just stressful. You can just do it like this very quickly if you know your if statements. So before I move to the reading score grading, please, if you have any questions, go ahead. If you have any questions based on what we just did, or you understand it, any question? Hello. Okay, Amilang, you raised your hand. Please go ahead. You can ask your question. Okay,
Okay.
Joshua said he understands. Thank you for the response. Amilang,
Okay. I feel it will always be helpful also if you send us some of the data details before the class so that we can follow you as you put in the formulas and we'll be able to do same. Because for me, what I
okay.
usually try to do is to quickly type some of those data in onto my
Mm,
system for you to follow. But it will help
okay.
us a lot if you can send it ahead of
The
the class.
class.
Yeah, so that we can
Mm,
have the Excel before us also and apply it as you are uh, working on it at your end.
all
That
right,
will
all
make it
right.
easier for us and for us to learn faster, please.
All right, no problem.
All
Thank
right.
you for that. So after this class, I would do that. In case I forget, somebody should kindly remind me. But after this class, I will do that.
All
Any other
right.
question? Thank you, Florence. To continue, I'll assume that we are on the same. Okay, so now I'm going to do the grading for the reading score. Okay, for those that didn't follow, you can follow now. But this time around, I'll be a bit faster, but I'll still explain it for you. So here we'll say if score, if double click on this, then the first score here is what we're going to be using, which is on E2. The cell name is E2, so you just click on that. Is greater than, basically the same thing with what we did before, 80. If E2 is greater or equal the value A for us, put it in quotes, whatever value you're writing in quote, we want it to return the value A for us. Otherwise, we want it to return the value B for us. Now me, so I'm just going to continue with my nested if. So I'm going to put another if in here because I'm not ending it at B. I have C to F. Is greater or equal to, okay, I think I used 70 here, not 80. So I'm going to correct that, 70. So, comma, I want you to return the value B in quotes, comma, statement. So I'll write another if statement in brackets. If this value again is greater or comma, I want it to return C in quotes, comma. Since it's a continuous statement, you just making mistakes, please. The way I did the first one, just do it like that. You can end it, apply it, and then go back to the formula and keep on inside it. But if you are good, then you can just continue like that. So since I have more, I'll continue. So if E2 is greater or equal to 40, comma, student got D, comma, again, if is greater or equal to 30, comma, I want it to return E, comma. Finally, if the students didn't get from A to E, then I want it to return F. So when you get to the last one, there's no need to quote and write F and put it in quotes. Then you start closing your brackets one by one. So the first bracket I'm closing, of course, is this last one. And the second bracket is the green one, can see. The third one is the purple one. The fourth one is the red. Then finally, I have the black. So I've applied that. Now this one is carrying the formula. I just double click here and the formula will be applied to all the others. So yeah, it's very simple, very simple. So from this, you can see that nobody even got F in the reading score. So students are good with reading at least than maths. Can see there's F here, there's D here, there's E. Okay, so this writing grade, I'm going to leave it for you guys to do it as an assignment to for you to sharpen your knowledge, to be sure that you understand what you are doing. Because this thing, if you don't practice it, you would not understand it. So you are going to I'm going to leave this for you guys to do it by yourselves so that we can move to the next one. Okay. So if you don't have any question with the nested if, is there any question? Somebody wants to talk.
Excuse me, please, can you repeat the column E again?
Okay. Which column, sorry?
Excuse me.
Yeah, go ahead. Can I repeat column what?
Column E. E again, the one you just finished.
Okay. So which one do you not
Yes,
understand? Is it the
exactly.
formula? This formula? You want me to start again? Hello, do you want me to start from the beginning with the formula?
Yes, how you brought in the E column, like how you sorted, you calculated it.
The E. So it's basically the
How
same
you,
thing with
yes,
what
how
I
you
did.
see.
How I put this E here. So it's basically the same thing. The if nested if is like, okay, if you have multiple options and it's not just two options, you understand? So that's why you can use the nested if, but you can use the if you have just two options. So here what I'm doing is that I'm nesting the ifs into it. So I explained this in the first one. I said if you are using this formula as a starter, if you are starting, you just go one by one. So you say if E2 is greater or equal to 70, comma, you put in A, comma, otherwise B in quotes, then you close it. When you close it, it will show here, then you just apply
Sorry,
it.
the thing
Hello?
went.
Hello, did you say anything? I think it was Amilang that asked the question, but I think his network is bad. I don't know. And he's not here. So maybe he should watch the video again so that we don't go back. Okay, so your assignment is to do the writing grade. Please do it because you still need all these assignments I'm giving you. When you get to the end, you need all these assignments. So if you are not doing it, you will not be able to do the final assignment. So finally, next we are going to go into count ifs, sum ifs, average ifs. That's what we'll be doing today. Basically, we'll be doing nested ifs,
In the beginning,
count ifs. Hello? Hello, is somebody saying something?
Okay, I was saying that maybe I need to watch the video because from the start of this meeting till now, I've not seen your screen, and I've tried to log out and log in, still the same
Uh-uh.
thing.
Are you serious? Uh-uh. Please,
Can
are
you
you
hear
guys
me?
seeing my screen?
Uh,
Please let me know if it's a general problem. Please, somebody should respond. Yes, if I can
Honestly,
hear
it's
you.
network anyway, so
I think his net
I can see
okay.
your screen.
I think it's from
Joshua
my
said he
own
can
end.
see it. No, so sorry. But I'll put the video out. It's recorded, so you would watch it. I think it's network. Sorry about that.
No problem, I know.
Okay. All right. So we're going into the count ifs now. Okay. So the count if function is a pre-made function in Excel which counts cells as specified. Okay, the count if and the count ifs do the same thing. The only difference is that the count if is used to count just a single range and a single criteria, while the count ifs is used to count multiple ranges and multiple criterias. Understand? So here now I can see count if you want to count just from a single range and criteria, count ifs for multiple ranges and criterias. So usually I'll advise, in fact me personally I use count ifs for everything because this count ifs now can work for both. It can do the job of this first one, but when you use this first one for multiple, it will throw an error. So basically for me to just avoid those errors, I just use this one. Whether I'm counting a single for a single range, I can still use the count ifs. Same goes with the sum ifs and the average ifs. It's basically the same thing. So I use the one with ifs just because I don't want to I want to avoid the error. So since this one covers both, I just go with the one with ifs to avoid any error. So I'm going to be using, so they do the same thing, just that this one is used to sum for a single range and a single criteria, while this one is used to do for multiple ranges and multiple criteria. But this one with ifs can also do the job of this first one. So I advise you just use this whenever you want to use sum ifs or average ifs. Just use the one with s to avoid it throwing any error in between. Okay, so now let's go into I'm going to start with the sum ifs. They all do basically the same thing, just different jobs. This one sums, this one does the average, the other one does the count. So we're going to start with SUMIFS, and for that we're going to be using this which file. So this is a new file. This file now I got it from this major file that we did together at the beginning. Remember, if you can remember, I even gave an assignment on this. So what I basically did is that I just removed, now these are products and the days that they were bought by customers and the quantities that were bought from these products, so, and the cost of goods. Now these products, they can repeat themselves. You can see potato here, you still see potato somewhere down, you see okra here, you see okra here, because this is just the report of how the customers are buying. So because different customers can come and buy, so you see the products repeating themselves here. So what I did is that, okay, what if I want to now calculate the quantity of potato that was bought, the total quantity, or I want to calculate the total price of rice, or the total revenue I got from rice, or the total profit I got from rice. I don't, here now, this is just a file where basically if a customer comes in, you just record it in. So you can see the product can repeat itself severally here. What if I want to put it in a way whereby I'll just write the product and then calculate the total quantity that was bought, and calculate the total revenue I got from that product, and calculate the total profit I got from that product. So this is where you now be using the SUMIFS or the average ifs, depending on what you want to calculate, or the count ifs, depending on what you want to calculate. The SUMIFS is the most popular, and the average ifs, people hardly even use count ifs, but it depends on what you want to do. So I'm going to show you how to do that. Just a second, please. Okay. So here, just a second, please. I want to. Okay, so here I'm going to write total quantity. I want to calculate the total quantity. Okay. And then I want to calculate the total cost of goods. And then finally, I want to calculate the total revenue for each product. Revenue. And then let's say total profit per product. And let's just write profits per product. And then average profits per product. Okay. So if you want to widen your column, you can just highlight the columns from up there and put your cursor here and double click. So the spaces will widen and fit in what you have written inside it. That's just a trick in Excel. So let's start with the total quantity here. Okay. Now we're going to use the SUMIFS for this now. The SUMIFS for easy. I use this one with S to avoid throwing me error. Since this one with S can do the problem, I just use the one with S, but they can do the same thing. Only that this one is better. The other one can do only single range. So here, when you say equal to SUMIFS, once you write your formula, try to understand. I always say this, that's the easiest way of knowing how to use Microsoft Excel functions. Once you understand what Excel is asking you to put in, you know how. Yeah, I cannot say is this range. I cannot say the range of cells I'm choosing must be in numbers because it's a calculation that wants to occur there. Excel wants to add for me. So it's asking me the sum range. So don't try to understand what the formula is saying so that it will be easy for you to use that formula. So sum range is asking which range of cell or which range of value so do you want me to add for you? Now I want to calculate total quantity per product. So I'm starting with beans first because of course beans is the first one here. So I want to calculate the quantity of beans that was bought. So I'll go to, now beans is not here. I'll go to where I have my beans, which is here. I want to calculate the sum, the quantity of beans that was bought. So the quantity is here under column E. So this is the range. You can see the formula is even following me here. Sum range. So I'll come to the worksheet where I want to do my calculation. Just click on orders. Then you see Excel will automatically write orders and put a what's this mark? Is it exclamation or what? I don't know. So Excel will write the name of the sheet. So this sheet's name is orders. Once you go to orders, then you select the column, the quantity column where you want Excel to sum for you. Okay, I've selected now this column E. Then I'll say comma. You can see there's comma here. Then Excel will take me to the next one, criteria range. Criteria range. Now, which criteria, okay, you want me to add the quantity for you. Okay, from which range of values, do you want me to now add? That's when you now go to products. Our criteria range is products. Under this product, we have beans here. So this is our range of this is the range we want to pick our criteria from. Is under products. Then you say comma. Then it finally says, then what is the criteria? So the criteria now is beans because that's the one we want to calculate first. So once we do that one, you just apply it to the rest and it automatically apply the same formula for the rest and your answer will come. So our criteria is beans. I can select beans here, but I don't want to select it here because this is not where I want my answer to appear. So I'll just go back to where I'm writing my formula and select beans, these beans here. Okay, select these beans here, close that bracket, then let's press enter. So you can see now, only eight plate of beans is what people bought from the store, total quantity. So from here, you can even, this is analysis. This is what analysis is about. You can even analyze that, okay, it's like I'm not making much profit from these beans, so, and people don't really like beans. Look at how people are buying it. The people are not really buying beans. So using the SUMIFS now, I've gotten the quantity of beans that was bought. So if I come here now and I say, okay, let's even check if we are correct. Let me apply a filter. Just say filter here. And then click on this filter and remove all the selection and select only beans and say, okay. So you can see 5 plus 3 is 8. So that's what we just did over there with that formula. But you know, this one is short. Now imagine you're working with a huge data. You can't just do it. You can't just get your answers like this. You must use the SUMIFS function. So go back to your filter and then select all again and say, okay. Okay. Then I want to remove the filter. So you just come back here and click on filter again. Then that filter sign will go away. Okay, so let's go back here now. Once you double click on this, all Excel will do everything for you. You can see. So total quantity of jollof rice bought 10, yam 7, potato 5. You can see the formula is being applied. The same formula is being applied. The only thing that is changing is this final B13, which is the product. Products are changing, but the same formula is applied from this. Is there any question? You should have questions though, because this one is a bit tricky.
I don't
Any
even know how to ask my
question?
question.
Why? What's happening?
Well, like you said, it's a bit tricky from that
Yeah, it's a
criteria. I
bit
don't even know.
tricky. The thing with
Talk
this thing
about
is that if you do it yourself, you get to understand it better. So as you are, just follow me. Once you go back and you sit down, you watch the video, you practice yourself, you see that it's easy. It's not, there's nothing difficult at all. But I'm not done yet, so we're still going to do more of that criteria thing. It's not like this the end, so I'm not done. So we'll just continue doing the same thing.
Hello, Lady Fatima.
Yes, hello. Your network went bad. I was trying to explain, but you went
Okay, my
off. I think your network is poor. Please.
yes,
Yeah.
yes. It goes like confirm whether you're hello. As far as you're
Yeah, go ahead. Whether
fine.
hello, Amilang, your network is poor. I can't hear you. Hello, your audio is mute.
Okay, just carry
I
on, no
think your
problem.
network is very poor. But the video is well explained. If you watch it later, you would understand it.
Absolutely.
Okay. Okay, so I'm going to do the same thing. What I've done here, I'm going to do it here so we can understand. So for this time around, we are going to be calculating the cost of goods, no longer the
Okay,
quantity.
no problem.
No longer the quantity, we are going to be calculating the cost of goods. Again, equal to, and just double click on it here. I'm going to explain again. Now here, Excel is saying to impute the sum range. That is a range. Range means range of numbers or range of values or a range of data. Excel is not asking you to impute one particular value. It's asking you to impute a range of data or a range of values. Now here it's written sum range, meaning that the range of values that Excel wants you to select, calculation to be done. It must not be a value that contains letters, numbers, a range of values that contains numbers, because that's where you want Excel to do the sum. So when you have sum range, you want to calculate the sum range of total cost of goods. Worksheet, which is this one here, these orders here. So you just click on, go to your cost of goods column, select it. That's where you want Excel to apply the sum range. Then say comma. You can see the formula here. There's a comma after. Once you say comma, Excel moves to the next one, criteria range. Criteria range, after selecting your sum range, now Excel is telling you, okay, you want that sum range to be applied to. Which range of values do you want the calculation you've just selected now, the column applied to? I want it to be applied to the product range, which is this one. So I'm going to select this product. Product is our criteria range. That's the criteria we want. Then you say comma. Then finally it says the criteria, meaning which particular product. Our calculation to be here, because this is where we started our calculation. So we'll come back to the product and select beans. We're starting with beans. So when you select beans, you close that bracket and press enter. So it means that the total cost of goods for beans was 1,600. So when you double click on this, it goes down. From here, you can now see that you didn't spend much buying beans. Maybe because you didn't spend much on the cost of goods. Jollof rice 7,000, egusi, okra, all these ones, they are plantain. I think you are spending more buying them. Maybe because the quantity also, people are really buying the products. That's why you spend more to stock your warehouse. So from here, you are analyzing this data, this large data. You can't analyze this data like this without summarizing that large data into this, so that we can now analyze our business. So what Excel has done for us now is that the total cost of goods for each product, starting with the sum range. Sum range is the Excel to do that calculation on. So those value you already know that, okay, that range must be in numbers, because that's where calculation is going. Then next it says criteria range. Okay, this calculation that I've done, so it's based on the product, comma, what is the particular product. Our criteria is beans always, so that we can so next we have total revenue. Again, we say equal to SUMIFS and then the sum range. Again, we go back to our file. Go back to, because this is where we want it to do the calculation on. Then say comma. Then say comma. And then it says criteria. So our first criteria is beans. Close that bracket, press enter. So it gives you the total revenue. The total revenue for beans and others. So you can see now that from here you can now analyze your business, that okay, I spent this much buying only 2,140. I'm not making much profit from that product. And I'm making this much. People are buying this in jollof rice. So I'm making a lot of profit from this product. I'm also making minimal profit here, at least. I'm making a lot from here. Making profits from here. This is what analysis is about. Analyzing this data by summarizing it. So we're going to do the same now for profits. Now let's now know, okay, which product gave us more profit, and which product should we be investing our money in more, or which product we should never run out of stock for. You understand? So from here, when you see the profit, you now know, okay, oh, this product is very important. I don't want to run out of stock for this product. So we're calculating the total. Guys, our business very well. So here we say equal to, again, SUMIFS. For this is the profit. So we'll go to others, our others worksheet, select our profit and say comma. Next it says criteria range. Again, our criteria is the product. Okay, the profit in beans is not too much. But you can now see the products that are giving you much profit. This rice gave you a lot of profits. This one here, rice and beans, also fried rice, coconut rice, you can see the profit is giving you. This one to give you profits. This one is not giving you much profit. Nobody is really buying eba like that. I don't know. People don't like eba. Anyway, so yes, you can see from here now, you are now analyzing your product, and you can see the products that you should be investing in the most. You can see the product that you should never run out of stock for. The most important products that are giving you profits. Then what if you want to know the average profits? Then you can now use the average ifs. It's the same thing with the sum ifs. The only difference is average that is there. So you say equal to average. You can already see it down here. So you just select it. And then say average range. So which range of values do you want Excel to find the average for you? You know that it must be a range of values that are numbers. So we want to find the average for profit. Then say comma. The criteria range is the product. Then say comma. And then the criteria is beans. Okay. Close that bracket, press enter. So you double click on this, and then you find this. You double click on this, and then you know the average profits that you are making so far. You can now see the products that are giving you much profits and the ones that are not giving you much. So from here, you can now tell that, okay, any product that you are getting over 2,000 from, 2,000, 2006, 2001, 2006, this, you know that, okay, these products are must have. You must never run out of stock for this product because these are the products giving you much profits. So if you wish, you can now calculate the total for this and say, you can just click, put it here and say auto sum, or you can use our sum function that we learned yesterday. For those of you that attended sum, you just highlight what you want to add, what you want Excel to add, and then you close that bracket and press enter. You don't have to do, just copy this down to the end and Excel will apply the same sum function for you. So this is what we've done. Simple. So if you want to now put it in Naira and all that, that's up to you. You can do that. You can decide that, okay, I want to put all of this in Naira. Okay. I'm just going to come to more number formats. And then I'll go to currency. And then I'll look for Naira. Say okay. Yes, so this is it. So I'll do the same for this. Let me just say format painter and see if that will apply. Okay, no, interesting. Yes, it's what format painter. Oh, Control Y. So I want to format this painter and apply it here because I want it to be, going to double click. Okay. Then make this bigger. Yes. So this is our total cost of goods. This is our total revenue, profit per product, and then average profit, total average profit and total profit. This is what we've done. You can even give it a color if you wish. So if you have any question, please, you can throw in your questions while I do my design. Any question?
That was fantastic.
Okay, thank you
Fatima.
very much.
So what is
Control
control?
Y.
Yeah, what function? Yes, what
Okay,
function does it perform?
it's used to redo. Control Z is to undo, to go back, while Control Y is to go forward. Like I was making mistakes just now, so I just used it to go forward because I made mistake by pressing Ctrl Z. So it took me back. So I wanted to correct that. So I'll use
Just like in what?
Ctrl Y. You said?
Okay, I said just like word processing.
Yes.
And word
Yes.
processing.
It's the same thing. The
Okay,
functions are the same. So
so did you just after okay after summing up that column, did you just how did you just got these numbers in the other
okay,
summation for the summation for the other columns? How did you do that?
you just put your cursor here where my cursor is, this plus sign, and then you drag it to the side. Once you drag it to the side, Excel will just apply it
Okay,
for you.
okay,
To apply the same function for you.
okay, I understand. Thank you.
You're welcome. So if you want to present, all these things I'm doing just for presentation purpose. If you want to present your work, you can also apply a double border under, or you have borders here. There's a double border, yes, bottom double border. You can apply that. Apply that there. Yeah, so this is basically any other questions, please? Because this is basically what I want us to do today. This is a lot, and I want you people to practice it so that you perfect it very well. So there's no point for me to be adding more if you have not practiced this yet. So I want you people to practice this and just playing around with this thing. Okay,
Okay,
so
I would like this request, please.
you said what?
Hello. Please,
Go
I'd like to
ahead.
make this request. Can you send us maybe you can send us the blank material ahead of the class, then we can be following with
Yeah,
our own
somebody
systems.
Yeah, somebody said it's I think Florence said it.
Okay,
Yes, so I'm going
okay,
to be
that
doing that. Yes, it's a good suggestion.
okay.
Mm. I'm going to
Yeah,
do that from the
absolutely.
next class by the grace of God. So once this is,
Okay, thank
I think this is basically all the file I'll be using. I'll just send it to you guys. I'll just send it to you guys to so that depending on the next class, you just continue with me. But Sorry, my network locked me off. My network is also misbehaving. It logged me off. Sorry. I was actually rounding up the class. So I was just explaining your assignments for you. I don't know if you
Yeah,
guys got me. So you do the grading for this, and then the total score, you add this, and then the status. Status is you use the if statement. I explained that at the beginning of the class too, for the pass and fail. Okay. I would send this file to you guys to do the assignment. I'll send the whole file to you guys for the assignments. So if you don't have any question, can we call it a night?
well, thank you,
All right.
Fatima. Thank you for providing for today's
You're
class.
welcome.
Yeah.
All right. Good night. Good night,
Yeah, good night.
everyone. Mariam, good night.
Good night. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.